Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam
हरे
Pujya.
कृष्ण हरे
Uh,
कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Start with Mangalachan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll continue with our Vandanam, offering prayers, singing Vaishnava bhajans and prayers, and then we will read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. So I posted the link in the chat. Last few weeks we have been glorifying Sri Krishna, Sri Radha on the on their auspicious appearance day of Janmashtami, Radhashtami. In the last couple of weeks we were singing Shukasari Stava, requesting Sri Radha and Krishna to bestow the service of their lotus feet. So in the same mood, this week we will sing this prayer, which is the mood of is the consciousness of all the Sakhi Ganas. And this is from the Prarthana prayers by Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Radha Krishna Pranamura. So we'll sing and then we'll read the translation. Radha Krishna Pranamura Jugala Kishore. Radha Krishna Pranamura Jugala Kishore. Jivane marane gati aronahi mo. Jivane marane gati aronahi mo. Kalindira kule keli kadambe ravana. Ratana bedira upar Bosabo jana Shama Gauri Ange Divo Chandanira Gandha Chamara Dhulabo Kabe Hiri Mukha Chandra Gathiya Mala Tir Mala Divo Dohara Gale Adhare Tuliya Divo Karpura Tambule Lalita Vishakhadi Jata Sakhi Vrinda Agyaya Koribo Seva Charanaраvinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daseranudas Seva Bhilasha Kore Narottama Das Seva Bhilasha Kore Narottama Das Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishore Jivane Marane Gati Arunahi Ho. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, anybody would like to read the translation for this prayer?
I can reach that to you.
Yes, Satima Kashi, please.
The divine couple, Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, is my life and soul. In life or death, I have no other refuge but them. In a forest of small kadam trees on the bank of the Yamuna, I will seat the divine couple on a throne made of brilliant jewels. I will anoint their dark and fair forms with sandalwood paste, scented with kuya, and I will fan them with a chamar whisk. Oh, when will I behold their moon like faces? After stringing together garlands of Malti flowers, I will place them around their necks and I will offer tambula scented with camphor to their lotus mouths. With the permission of all the Sakhis, headed by Lalita and Vishakha, I will serve the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Narottam Das, the servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, longs for this service to the divine couple. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ati Mataji. Yes. So we've been praying to Sri Radharani and Sri Krishna separately. Now all the Sakhis are praying to them together in this prayer. Yes, these are wonderful compilation by Shanaratam Das Thakur, who's kind of our, is a very dear Acharya to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted his arrival even before he came into this world. And he would sometimes call out his name to Nityananda Prabhu, and the other associates of Nityananda Mahaprabhu would be surprised as to who this Narottam is. But yeah, Narottam Das Thakur gave us these wonderful compilation of prayers, more than 50 plus in this prarthana. So yeah, we are glad to read this or sing this prayer today. Okay, this whole week, this will be our prayer of the week. All right, so now we will go and continue with our reading of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. So last week we transitioned from volume 1 into volume 2 of Prabhupada Lilamrit, and we are currently following Prabhupada as he's, like I said, he's going fast and he's going vast. He's going to different cities in India after setting the stronghold in America and Europe and other parts of the world. Now he's back in India and trying to set up the base in major cities. So he arrived in Bombay and he went to Calcutta, and this chapter is titled The Land is Yours. Tamal Krishna Maharaj and his Balimadan Prabhu Devi were instrumental in going and purchasing the land in Mayapur after many, many struggles and long wait. So land is yours, they say to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada is very happy and content that finally they've been able to purchase land in Sridham Mayapur. And now Prabhupada is in New Delhi, continuing with the Pandal programs like he had done in Bombay. So many of the major dignitaries of the city, Delhi, of course, being the capital city, there are a lot of people from the government, from industrialists and others who have come, and a lot of people are taking advantage of the Pandal program that Prabhupada is leading with nice kirtans and katha and prasadam. So we'll continue from here. Yeah, for the pious people. All right, so I'll read. For the pious people of Delhi, the evening Hare Krishna festival was a momentous occasion. Since the location and the hour were ideal and admission was free, the crowd had grown to tens of thousands, many having come specifically to see the young American Vaishnavas. At Prabhupada's arrival, hundreds of people surged forward to touch his feet and receive his blessings as a ring of disciples escorted him through the crowd. Prabhupada, wearing a grey wool chadar, his Swami hat pushed back casually on his head, moved calmly forward toward the stage with natural aristocratic poise. He sat on the Vyasasan and the audience quieted. New Delhi's mayor, Sri Hansraj Gupta, spoke first. He had met Srila Prabhupada in the early 1960s when Prabhupada had approached him for a donation to publish the first volume of Srimad Bhagavatam. Mayor Gupta, recognizing Prabhupada as someone sincere and near to God, had helped, and Prabhupada had later presented him with complimentary copies of the first two volumes of his Srimad Bhagavatam. Mr. Gupta was impressed by Prabhupada's success in spreading Vaishnavism in the West. And as he introduced Srila Prabhupada, he expounded on the Krishna conscious philosophy he had read in Prabhupada's Bhagavatams. He said, speaking in Hindi, that as mayor of Delhi for 5 years, he had many times welcomed important visitors and delivered addresses, but such functions were usually only formalities. This was not, however, the case with Srila Prabhupada. He said, since no one he had ever known could compare with him, he praised Srila Prabhupada for doing an immense amount of good work in India and the whole world, said Mayor Gupta. He has also given me love and affection, and I am more affected by that than anything else. Then Prabhupada spoke. When he began by asking whether the audience preferred him to speak in Hindi or English, many called out for Hindi, a few for English. But Prabhupada announced, I am going to speak in English because my disciples, being Americans and Europeans, have joined me. They are following me and they must understand. If I speak in Hindi, they cannot follow. So I am going to speak in English. Ladies and gentlemen, Prabhupada continued, I thank you for your kindly participating in this Krishna consciousness movement. Just now, we will vibrate one transcendental song, Jai Radha Madhav Kunj Bihari. As you know, Krishna's eternal consort is Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Sri Krishna. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. When he wants to enjoy, he exhibits his pleasure potency, which is known as Srimati Radharani. After chanting Jai Radha Madhav, Prabhupada expounded the science of Krishna for half an hour, quoting Bhagavad Gita on why Krishna comes to the material world, how the Jiva souls are transmigrating from one body to another, birth after birth, and how human life is the opportunity for the Jiva souls to revive their love of Krishna. This is religion, Srila Prabhupada said. Simply surrender to Krishna. Become a Krishnite. It doesn't require a church. It doesn't require a mosque. It doesn't require anything. But wherever you sit down, you can chant Hare Krishna. This is the easiest method. Following Shukadeva Goswami, the ancient speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada condemned a materialistic life spent working hard like hogs or dogs without self realization. He emphasized that India had a treasure house of knowledge which Indians should distribute all over the world. Unfortunately, the Indians were forgetting their real duty. In conclusion, Prabhupada said, so there are many things to be spoken in this connection of the Krishna consciousness movement. I am trying to present this to you in the next 10 days. This is the beginning. I shall request you to come here. We don't charge any fees. We are depending on Krishna. If Krishna likes, he will benefit us. We are completely surrendered to Krishna. If he likes, he can maintain us. If he likes, he can kill us. We don't mind. We have no business. We have no separate interest. We request you to come and join this movement. It is not sectarian. We have many Hindus, Christians, Jews, Mohammedans, and Sikhs also all over the world who are now in Krishna consciousness. We are preaching one word, Krishna, one scripture, Bhagavad Gita, and one mantra, Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Prabhupada attempted to leave the stage, and again the crowd rushed forward to touch his lotus feet. Although Prabhupada's disciples were already convinced of his greatness, that greatness took on a vivid reality at times like this, when they heard him speaking so powerfully and saw him surrounded by throngs of worshippers. As Prabhupada proceeded to his car, he remained calm and humble, but the disciples surrounding him tends to protect him from being jostled by a frantic crowd. Yet, despite the devotees' sincere attempts, individuals in the crowd would manage to break through, diving between the devotees' legs to throw themselves before Srila Prabhupada. Do you know why they are worshipping me? Prabhupada said, turning to his disciples near him. It is because I am free from sex desire. For 10 consecutive nights, Srila Prabhupada lectured at the Pandal. In many of his lectures, he would speak of dharma, religion, in connection with the Krishna consciousness movement. The Krishna consciousness movement is the topmost yoga system. It is very scientific. Don't think it is a sentimental movement. It is authorized, supported by the Vedic literatures, and actually it is becoming effective. Religion is surrender to God. These boys and girls have taken to this real religion. This movement is so important, and we are giving everyone a chance to make this life successful. Therefore, our humble request is that you take to Krishna consciousness. On the fifth evening, after Justice Mishra had referred to religion in his introduction, Srila Prabhupada defined the word in his lecture. Religion means constitutional position. In the English dictionary, religion is described as faith. But by Vedic definition, religion cannot be changed like faith because it is the law given by the Lord. Only surrender unto the lotus feet of Krishna is dharma. That is Krishna's verdict. One should not have any ulterior motive in approaching God. Why not surrender immediately? Be intelligent. Real religion means to surrender immediately. Why should you wait for many, many births? We request all of you to try to understand this process of Krishna consciousness very seriously. Take to it and you will become happy. Srila Prabhupada saw the Indian people abandoning their dharma for materialism, and he spoke strongly, pointing out their great mistake and urging them to rectify it. If you actually want to advance your nation, India, then you must take to the culture of Krishna consciousness. This will glorify your country. You cannot compete with the Western world in the field of technology. It is impossible. The Western countries are meant for that purpose, for advancing technology. But you are meant for a different purpose. Your special advantage is that you have been born in this land of Bharatvarsha after many, many births and after performing many pious activities. India is very poverty stricken. So wherever I go, I'm told I come from a very poor country. India advertises this image. Our ministers beg from other countries. We are accepted as beggars culture. At the Berkeley University, one Indian student protested the studying of the Hare Krishna movement. He was the only student to protest. He said, Swamiji, what benefit is made by accepting this Hare Krishna movement? In another place, a girl asked me, Swamiji, what is God? So I asked her, are you Indian? You should be ashamed of being called an Indian because you ask, what is God? Although you come from India, the land of God. India is the land where Lord Krishna appeared. So, although you may be born Indian, if you have no dharma, what is the difference between you and the animals? One night, while Prabhupada was speaking, an American hippie in the audience approached the stage. He had long, wild blonde hair and wore a vest and high leather boots. A miniature framed picture of Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva hung on a chain around his neck. When the boy tried to climb up on stage, some of the devotees pushed him back, but Srila Prabhupada intervened. He had a devotee bring a cushion and place a microphone in front of the boy. Then Srila Prabhupada said, Yes. Have you realized yourself? The young man demanded. Have you realized the soul in the innermost depths of your being? Yes, Srila Prabhupada replied. At first, the man was taken aback, but then he again challenged. Now you tell me another thing. When was the Bhagavad Gita written? Now you answer my question, Srila Prabhupada said. What is the process of receiving knowledge from the Bhagavad Gita? No, the young man retorted. You tell me, when was the Bhagavad Gita written? In your lecture, you said 5,000 years ago, but according to other Swamis, it was written only 1,500 years ago. Answer my question. I asked you first. Srila Prabhupada raised his voice angrily. I am not your servant. I am Krishna's servant. You must answer my question. A heated argument began, with the hippie yelling at Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada arguing back. Finally, the devotees removed the boy from the stage. The incident confused the audience. Many people began to leave. Why did your Guru Maharaj become angry? Some of them demanded from the devotees. He should have answered the man's question. Some of the civic leaders supporting the Pandal program also became upset, fearing Srila Prabhupada had made an unfavorable impression on the public. Those who were devotional, however, remained in their seats to hear further what Prabhupada had to say. To the devotees, it was inconceivable. Why had Prabhupada, in the middle of his talk, invited a crazy hippie onto the stage, given him a microphone and a seat, and then argued with him to the point of yelling and shouting, and all before an audience of 20,000? Bhavananda, one man who had helped organize the Pandal, protested. Oh, Swamiji has gotten angry. This is not good. But Srila Prabhupada seemed to have done it purposefully. He had spoken for a long time that evening on how to understand the Bhagavad Gita, and then he had this hippie brought on the stage. It was bewildering to us. We couldn't figure it out. Giriraj Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada was actually using the entire incident to illustrate the process of understanding Bhagavad Gita. After the man left, Prabhupada completed his lecture by stating that one must approach Krishna or Krishna's representative with a submissive attitude by serving and inquiring, not simply asking challenging questions. The whole incident had illustrated this point. Yadubara. Many in the audience misunderstood the incident. It caused a split. But those who understood what Srila Prabhupada had done could see that this hippie was a rascal, and this had been a time for transcendental anger against his nonsensical opinions. Tejas. After everything was over, Prabhupada told us, just as the gopis were lusty for Krishna, Arjuna would also get angry for Krishna. So it is not bad that a devotee becomes angry for Krishna. But many people in the crowd could not understand this point, how a devotee is not impersonal. The Indians are used to seeing impersonalist yogis who express no emotion. The audience was mostly impersonalists. The last night of the Pandal program, Srila Prabhupada spoke privately with James George, the Canadian High Commissioner. Mr. George, you have attracted so many Canadians and Americans. Prabhupada, I have not attracted them. Krishna has attracted them. Mr. George, true. Prabhupada, Krishna is all attractive. I am simply presenting the means of being attracted. That is my business. It is similar to the way a magnet attracts iron. If the iron is rusty, However, the magnetic force cannot attract. Therefore, my business is to remove the dirt. This process is Cheto Darpana Marjanam, cleansing the heart. At the present moment, every one of us is in a consciousness of thinking, I am this body. Because you are born in Canada, you are thinking you are Canadian. Because I was born in India, I'm thinking I'm Indian. And because he was born in America, he's thinking he's American. None of us are American, Canadian, or Indian. We are living entities, Mr. George. I have no problem following all of that. How, though, is this change of consciousness to be brought about, for example, in the West? This, I take it, is your mission. Prabhupada, there is no question of East and West. It is philosophy. It is science. In mathematics, for instance, 2 plus 2 equals 4. This is equally understandable in the West as well as the East. It is not that 2 plus 2 in the West is 5 and 2 plus 2 in the East is 3. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 everywhere. The first knowledge, then, that must be understood by human society is that we are not these bodies. It is very common knowledge. From this point, our spiritual knowledge can advance. If we do not know what spirit is, then what is the question of advancing in spiritual knowledge? After the conversation, Mr. George accompanied Prabhupada to the stage and introduced him to the crowd. For several years, I've been wanting to meet this Swami and see what it was about him that was affecting so many of our young people in Canada and North America. I was very happy this evening to come in response to your kind invitation and especially to meet Swamiji. I think, as he himself said to me a short time ago, there is something really happening. Whether he is doing it or it is being done through him, as he said, it is beside the point. But there is something happening, and everyone who doubts that should be here tonight to see this. It is happening not only here in Delhi, but it is happening in Toronto and Cleveland and Los Angeles and New York and all sorts of places. What is it? I do not know how he could answer that question. For me, at a deeper level, what is happening is the awakening of a surge. In his lecture, Srila Prabhupada compared the material body to a machine operated by a driver and the soul. And he spoke to the soul's natural position as servant of Krishna. Addressing Mr. George, Prabhupada concluded his speech. Here, our Honorable High Commissioner of Canada is present. I request that since you have come to our country, please try to understand this philosophy. I have traveled in your country, in Canada also, and as you have already mentioned, we have got 5 branches in Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, Hamilton, and Ottawa. So the boys are struggling. They are distributing culture, these books, and I'm getting very encouraging reports. Sorry, they are distributing, okay, they're distributing culture, these books, and I'm getting very encouraging reports. Many young men are also coming. It is a very scientific movement. So I request you to inform your government to give these boys facility to inject this Krishna consciousness movement in your country. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. After the successful 10-day Pandal festival, 700,000 had attended. Srila Prabhupada took his disciples on a short excursion to Vrindavan. His preaching tours had taken him to such places as Amritsar, Surat, Indore, Gorakhpur, Allahabad, and Banaras, but never to Vrindavan. With so many of his disciples gathered in Delhi for the festival, Prabhupada considered it an opportune time to travel to nearby Vrindavan. They set out in 2 vehicles, Srila Prabhupada and 4 others and Mrs. Kamala Bakshi's the ambassador and 40 devotees following in a rented bus. Prabhupada remained silent during the ride out of the city, past the factories and through the agricultural fields, groves and villages along the Delhi-Agra road en route to Vrindavan. When after a couple of hours they approached outskirts of Vrindavan, Prabhupada directed the driver of his car to a village and into the center of the small town to a sweet water well. Here Prabhupada and his party drank, took a breakfast of fresh fruit, and then continued on their way. Just before reaching Shatikara Road, which leads directly into Vrindavan, Prabhupada's car broke down. Tejas. After Prabhupada's car broke down, he rode the rest of the way with us on the bus. Our relationship with Prabhupada was very reverential, although we were in the most intimate situation, staying with him and traveling in a bus with him. Prabhupada never said anything about it. In those days, we were actually very much like a family. Prabhupada knew everyone, and everyone knew Srila Prabhupada and would talk to him. But still, we were very reverential. In Vrindavan, Mr. G.L. Saraf accommodated Prabhupada, his secretaries, and the women in the party at his home, Saraf Bhavan. The rest of the devotees stayed in a nearby Dharamshala. Prabhupada had come to Vrindavan for more than just a pilgrimage. He had come to try and secure land for ISKCON. When in 1967 he had come to Vrindavan from America, he had come to recuperate. But on recovering his health, he had looked for a place in Vrindavan for his disciples. He had tried to establish an American house, a center where his disciples could live in Vrindavan's ideal atmosphere and receive training in Krishna consciousness culture and then go out and preach. But after 2 months of little prospect for establishing his American house, he had left. This time, however, Prabhupada was coming to Vrindavan as that city's famous ambassador to the world, renowned for propagating the glories of Sri Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan in the West. The success of the Hare Krishna movement was being widely publicized in India as Prabhupada and his band of foreign disciples traveled from city to city, holding kirtans, lecturing from Srimad Bhagavatam, and telling of Krishna consciousness in the West. So when Prabhupada arrived in Vrindavan with 40 disciples, the entire town heralded his presence. The municipality of Vrindavan arranged a formal reception attended by prominent local citizens and sadhus. A spokesman for the city praised Srila Prabhupada and his accomplishments. O great soul, today we, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, known as Brajbasis, all combinedly offer our humble welcome to your holiness in this holy place of Vrindavan. And in doing so, we feel very proud. For many years, you stayed in the Radha Damodar temple and worshipped Her Majesty Srimati Radharani in a meditative mood, and thus you now have the transcendental vision to deliver the entire world. As proof of your perfection, we can see these foreign devotees before us, and we feel very proud to see how you have transformed them into such pure devotees. Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll pause here. Prabhupada is like a touchstone. Yes, he's transforming everybody into pure devotees. And yeah, this theme of that what we read today and how Prabhupada is lecturing in these Pandal programs and sharing the science of Krishna consciousness, the path of pure bhakti, and igniting the sparks in so many people. He said, how many were there? Seven, I think 20, 30,000 were attending already, but 700,000, it's like 7 lakh people attended that 10-day program. It's just mind-boggling. But yeah, it kind of relates back to the theme. I was talking to Jerry Prabhu last night, and I remembered the topic this last weekend was Bhagavad Gita 4.34, Tadvidi Pranipatena. It kind of relates back to this theme that Prabhupada is explaining, how one should approach a spiritual master. The essence that he was talking about, we have to search for a bona fide spiritual master. These days, it is very common for people to confuse the word guru, right? Because there are so many kinds of gurus. There are business gurus, there are professional gurus, there are some science gurus, yoga gurus, so and so. But the word guru, according to Vedic culture, means really somebody who is heavy because of the weight of transcendental knowledge that they carry, the true knowledge that is coming down in the parampara. And here Prabhupada is saying the same thing, how that person, the hippie who came on the stage, had not understood the process of how to understand true knowledge. That is by process of surrendering to the spiritual master, surrendering to the servant of the Lord in a mood of humility and in mood of service, that we offer service in a humble state of mind and then ask questions to rectify or to remove our ignorance versus asking or challenging the authority of the bona fide spiritual master. So that is the mood that one should have and develop. And also, we should like here Tejas Prabhu was mentioning, that even though they were close to Srila Prabhupada, they always had that mood of reverentiality, and that should always be there, because it should not be like, I'm so close to my Guru Maharaj than others. So, I can say anything, or I can ask anything, or I can behave any way I want. That familiarity breeds contempt, as we say, and so that should not be the mood, but it should always be that, Guru is a true representative of the Lord. He's not different from the Lord for us. So that should be the mood with which we approach our spiritual master. But if we are sincere, if we are humble, if we are sincerely trying to seek answers to our questions with humility, then yes, the Guru will be pleased. And if the Guru is pleased, then the Guru Parampara is pleased, and Shri Shri Radha Krishna are pleased. Then we receive perfect knowledge for our perfect questions. Okay, wonderful. Anybody else would like to share anything that they liked, they loved from today's reading? Arjun Keshav Prabhu, thank you for joining. And welcome to Cincinnati once again. So I see that you're already participating in many programs and helping with the youth preaching. So thank you very much. If you're saying something, you're on mute, Prabhu. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I liked the point that Swarup Maharaj pointed out that Srila Prabhupada very carefully allowed this person to speak in the Pandal program to highlight the difference between what people expected a sadhu to be like and what a sadhu is like according to Gita. Like you said, I wasn't there for the evening program on Saturday, but in Gita 434, the mode of approaching a sadhu should be pariprashnena sevaya. And so, despite some people being a little bewildered that, a sadhu should not be upset, still Srila Prabhupada is like, for the purpose of explaining what's happening in Gita, explaining the message of Gita, he considered it acceptable, he considered it necessary to show this difference here.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. Yeah, you were saying it was Jerry Prabhu was mentioning. I mean, I was not there Saturday. I was in Louisville, but yeah, I kind of went through that. And yesterday, last night, he called me, so we were just talking about that. But yeah, so he said, submission, submission, and then service. Those are essential. And then automatically, like I said, yeah, when the guru is pleased, then sometimes our questions are answered. And like, we always say the association of guru is not just through physical association, but also Vani, right? And here again, Prabhupada is teaching the example that when we are reading these scriptures, we are actually associating with bona fide representatives of the Lord. We are connecting to the parampara, and when we are reading in the association of the devotees, then yeah, we are actually get those instructions directly into our hearts from our gurus, from Srila Prabhupada. So it is not that we have to only physically serve them actually, because Vani is eternal. Vani will last. That is Vani of Lord Himself is lasting, right? That's Shruti. So yeah, the Vani association is so potent. And if we are sincere and humble, then that Vani potency can actually create, flood our hearts with transcendental knowledge. Yes, thank you. All right, anybody else would like to share anything? Anything that you...
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, the question or anger that comes, right, that is natural, because if something I'm believing and somebody is saying, no, you are wrong, I am right. But I will say, I am right, you are wrong. So the anger or that thing always come either side. So, but Srila Prabhupada handled very well, because he has a vast knowledge. So that's why he handled whenever he was giving a preaching in the larger audience. So that's what we have to learn, like how we have to convince or give this knowledge to others, so that with a proper analogy, because there is no material evidence, but we'll give proper analogy, yeah, we can able to, convince or bring any audience or new devotee to the right track.
Rightly used, like Prabhupada said, in the service of the Lord, if it is used, then it is anything, like Prabhupada has been teaching us throughout, connecting everything materially to spiritual world, right? Then it becomes spiritualized. Similarly, anger used in the service of the Lord is the right anger, but not anger where somebody is criticizing us and out of our false ego we try to criticize them. Then that is not the right use of anger. Prabhupada used to say always, to his disciples that we should be like a lamb at home and like a lion outside. But unfortunately, it's sometimes the other way. People are lion at home and then they're lamb outside. So at home, everybody wants to fight and argue and criticize, right? But outside, everybody seems to be like a lamb, very, very pleasant and quiet. But Prabhupada always used to say it should be the other way. We should be lamb at home. We should be polite, courteous, we should have that Vaishnava Sadashar. But outside when we go, yeah, we can be bold in our preaching. We can be bold in our conversations with others. So like that. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Prabhu. Anything else from anybody? Devika Mataji, thank you for joining consistently. I see you're joining almost every day for the reading. Thank you. Shriya Mataji, good to have your presence again. I know you've been traveling for the last month or so, but it's good to have your association in New Vrindavan and good to see you back consistently. All righty. Okay, if nothing else, no other comments, then I think it's time we'll wrap it up here for today. Thank you for your kind association every morning for this Japa Sangha and reading and reciting these wonderful prayers from our acharyas in the association of devotees. Bhakti grows, it grows fast. So thank you for your kind association. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant koti vaishnavrind ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.